Welcome to Northern Indiana Lakes. I'm Jennifer Blomquest. You know, for years, many of you have been reading our magazine, Northern Indiana Lakes, and you've enjoyed the beautiful pictures in there, interesting stories, unique people and places right in our backyard. And now we're bringing all of that to you in a monthly television special. As you're watching this, it's cold outside, but we were able to catch the last breath of summer on Lake Wawasee. Beautiful day out here, and we begin not on the water actually, but in the air at the Wawasee Airport.
Jerry Ray loves life in the sky, soaking up the glory of Lake Wawasee from miles above. A retired pilot, his home away from home is at his private hangar at the Wawasee Airport, where he stores his Waka Classic Super.
Well, we're listed in the private airports in the United States. It's on the map. We're on the map, I guess you could say.
On the map, but it's few and far between when it comes to airports like this. No concrete, no lights, no tower, just acres of a green grass runway.
So they're kind of a disappearing thing. A couple of airports, Goshen has a grass runway. My hometown of Connersville has a grass runway. They still maintain. They're just kind of a disappearing thing. And they're very nostalgic. It's the way it all started. Chicago was a great big field at one time. There wasn't any big pieces of concrete around. Meigs Field was that way, Midway was that way, and they just landed, and whichever way the wind was blowing, they landed into the wind.
Only a handful of planes land here, like airport owner Steve Hayes' North American 50.
If we aren't flying, we're sitting around telling lies.
Steve bought the airport 20 years ago for $70,000.
Oh, I've always liked airplanes. I've always liked to fly, and I was always hanging out here. Either that or on the lake.
He's been flying out of here since he got his pilot's license at age 16. The previous airport owner, a retired pilot from Chicago, actually shut it down. That's when Steve stepped in.
It was a way he didn't want to pay for insurance. He didn't want to have the liability when he wasn't here. And so when I went to open it up again, it fell under a new rule. And so it can only be a private airport now.
The original hangar is just down the street from Steve's and is no longer part of the airport, though its rusted facade reveals the many years it's seen planes and people come and go. There's even word this place was a haunt for infamous mob types like John Dillinger and Al Capone.
Well, there might be some truth to that, but it's all rumors as far as I'm concerned. I don't have any actual history other than we go down to the Bar B Hotel, which is not too far from here. And that's got, I guess, factual history of John Dillinger and maybe some of the other gangsters showing up there and hiding out there.
An easy place to hide, a hidden gem in Northeast Indiana.
It's pretty nostalgic to pull this out here, and we've got a couple of guys with Model Ts and Model As that pull over here and park up next to the airplane and get out and take pictures. And it's kind of like going back in time. It's what they call the golden age of aviation in the 30s, and it was fun. And we try and relive that.
A treasured trip with a priceless view.
For our next stop, you won't be up in the air. You're going to want to keep your feet on the ground. Lots of walking and shopping to do at this next place. It's just a 10-minute drive down the road at the Village at Winona. And if you haven't been there in recent years, you're in for quite a surprise because it's changed a lot. In fact, as the saying goes, what's old is new again.
Quaint, colorful, charming, beautiful today, but not in yesteryears.
The community was blighted and in a significantly depressed state.
14 years ago, local businessman Brent Wilcoxon had a vision for this. Actually, it was his MBA thesis while studying at Ball State.
It kind of became a passion and a dream to try to get Winona Lake back to its historic roots. And so that's where the whole idea came from. And then working on my MBA, it gave me a chance to put some of the nuts and bolts and the technical side to that. There were a lot of naysayers. There were a lot of people that thought, oh, this is crazy. What can never work. Even though, it's ended up to be a great positive and everybody's really happy, there was a lot of community resistance.
But once Brent had the financial backing of Biomet CEO Dr. Dane Miller, the stage was set for this multi-million-dollar project. The homes that had been split into dozens of tiny rentals were moved, given new foundations, and completely renovated. It took 3 years just to get one street done.
I mean, we're taking the best, hopefully, of what we see in history, and we're trying to preserve that, recreate that, enhance that. And so the built environment was very, very important to us to make sure that we restored that. It would have been a lot cheaper, I'm sure, to tear everything down and just build something new, but it wouldn't look like this.
20 unique and locally owned shops and restaurants, drawing people from all over the world to admire and experience them.
Why are you going to pay $8 for a mug that you can go to a big box store and buy for $2? Well, because there's an intrinsic value of beauty and aesthetic that craftsperson puts into that, and you're watching him make it. You're watching him put his initials on the bottom.
Brent's son manages the Bake-Cafe, a bakery-cafe combo. His wife makes the Hoosier Mama cookies.
She comes in every morning about 6 o'clock and whips up the dough and puts them in the oven. And
No artificial preservatives.
No. No shortening, no trans fats. You know.
Yeah.
And perhaps the most important ingredient of all, the water, Winona Lake.
And when you look at Chautauquas around the country, a lot of them are on water. And so we've got this wonderful 600-acre lake, and it's got a history of people using it and recreating on it. So, yeah, it's a big draw.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. It's beautiful. I love seeing the old buildings restored.
Just beautiful. I like to shop down here, and we have a granddaughter now, so we bring her down here and walk all around, and they have festivals, and it's I especially love the art festival.
When you have the local populace that just comes and, man, I remember what this was like, and, thank you, that's really rewarding.
The seasons change, people come and go, but water is timeless. It's there bringing us peace, serenity, and beauty throughout the year. I'm Jennifer Blomquest. We hope you've enjoyed our stories about northern Indiana lakes this month. We look forward to bringing you even more next month. Thanks for joining us.